Hello and welcome back to the S.H.E Gallery Show. Thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you being with us. As Jay-Z said, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out with us. With me, my name is Dulce Maria Diaz. I am the founder and director of Sharing His Energy Gallery, that is S.H.E Gallery. S.H.E Gallery was started in 2014. That is when I started studying business for the arts, and in 2015, S.H.E Gallery became a nonprofit. Many of you have heard the story about the dream and what pushed me to study business for the arts, and the passion that really pushed S.H.E Gallery to 7 years later, where we're at today. But many of you don't know the roots of that and why I care so much. So again, I invite you to visit our website, and that is sharinghisenergygallery.net. If you can please give me the screen for the website so that our viewers can see this website, that is sharinghisenergygallery.net. We encourage you to visit the website when you have a chance. Okay, so again, my name is Dulce Maria Diaz, and many of you have seen that I use the name Dulce 37. That is my artist name. The 37 comes from numerology, symbology. When I was a kid, I noticed the numbers 3 and 7 a lot, and I studied them and found that they had really great significance. So this is me being a child, and we were born in Mexico. We came to the United States, and we were raised in Little Village, Pilsen. And something else that I noticed in the streets was another form of symbology, which was gang symbology. And we've been talking about the evolution of Chicago-style graffiti and how the graffiti writers mimicked a lot of the practices from gangs. Including symbolism and the style of writing. S.H.E Gallery was started out from roots from my party days here in Chicago. So we've been talking about this street life, this underground movement of hip hop. But this hip hop movement is a little bit more than just these 5 elements or the 4 elements that are studied. But that 5th element that I've been focusing on has been unity. And this unity truly comes from friendships, from streets, from being growing up together. So growing up in 55th and Tallman, I founded some friends that are still my friends today. I was very lucky, and we became really close friends. So one of our greatest influences, if I can get the screen for the website. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. I had some images that I wanted to share with you, and that is some of the pioneers, or I shouldn't use the word pioneers, but some of our early introductions, at least my early introductions to graffiti here in Chicago. And that was, I came to Chicago in 1988, and by 1992, so we lived in Little Village and Pilsen. My father was a musician. And my biggest influences have been my siblings, my oldest sister, Maria, my brother, Nick, my brother, Caesar. All 3 also serve on the board of directors. And they, like little kids, we always look up to our siblings, right? That is our family. That is the first family that we know before we make families out of our streets, out of our friends. So we were raised there, and then we moved to 55th and Tallman. So that's the Gage Park area, and that is where we were introduced to hip hop. And that's where I really remember seeing ABC, CTA, and these crews. And that's why it's been such an honor now to be able to work with the pioneers. So Case is one of the earliest, or actually he was the introduction to us on 55th and Tallman when we were first there. And I had an image to show you about him, and then some of the other people that we grew up with in the party productions that were started, which was Girly Girl Production, Vision Production, Boy Girl Production. And it was basically a group of kids always just getting together and we started having these parties and making really real money. So growing up, I had a best friend in grammar school, and he was one of my first introductions to breakdancing. He used to teach me how to breakdance, and my brothers had turntables, so they used to show me the turntables. And Mikey, Junebug, he became air crew, and this was in 1995. He was my best friend in grammar school when we came to 55th and Tallman. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this. Can I use the overhead? Okay, so I can't zoom in. I can't show you the overhead. And I have these photos here of Michael, Junebug, and I have a drawing. Okay, so I think I could show you the monitor now. Can I have the web? Okay, so here we are. We have the images back up. This is us on 55th and Tallman. Here we have Case from Cab Crew, and here we have Noah. So again, this was our first, the first person that introduced us as a family to graffiti. And then there was Hyde, who taught my brother graffiti letters. Hyde ended up being killed by the cartels later on in life. These are our party days. This is me as a young kid with Vessel. Vessel was part of Air Crew, so I grew up with Air Crew. That was one of the earliest crews that I knew about. This is Severo during our party days, so this is just kind of showing you us being kids. Many people here are familiar with some of the graffiti writers, female graffiti writers like Ange 13, Steph. These were the girls that I knew back in the 90s. This is Bias and Crier. These are the girls that I truly admired, both as artists and as women, as artists, just period. Just really loved them, being around them, just such a great energy. And they were with us during these times when I was just a kid. Little symbol for Girly Girl Production, the production that we were with. Love to Gage Park. So here we are, some of the party kids. We have again Crier, Chewy, Saul, Nana. That's my best friend, one of my best friends, still one of my best friends, who was also part of Girly Girl Productions. Here we have my brother Nick, who was Nags, and again my introduction and my the person that I looked up to for graffiti writing. And many of you have seen him, met him, and seen him in a wheelchair. This is before he was shot in the head by gangbangers. So this is him as an athlete. And this is Severo here. So this is just kind of like to show you the innocence of just the funness of kids being kids, partying, being on the streets. This is me and Esmeralda again. We call her Nana. These are some of our other party friends that we grew up with in the neighborhood. Again, Crier and Betty. So that's fun. So you guys have a little bit of an idea of what they look like. And if I could get the overhead. Can I get the overhead? I'll try another button. Oh. So if we can try to get the overhead, here we go. Thank you. We're going to try to zoom in. Okay, we're not able to zoom in. But so these are the images. This is in 1995. So again, I was talking about my best friend and us growing up on the streets in this neighborhood of 55th and Tallman. So Mikey here, oh, thank you. I think that's, okay, nice. So here we have, and he's writing, just feeling a little creative. So again, this was my best friend, and I remember us growing up in the neighborhood, and we were talking about how we were not going to fall victims to the streets, how we were going to, go to school and do good for ourselves. And Mikey passed away about 20 years ago now. So we lost Mikey, and we love Mikey very much. This is during our party days, our friend Esmeralda. We lost it. Well, just going on, I was just going to share some more images from just our childhood and some of these people that I truly respect, and they were my introductions to these movements that were just basically conversations of children, that how we were not going to lose ourselves. I have another image here from Recco, who recently passed away, one of our other friends from Gage Park. And so this is just me in grammar school, and we're talking about party productions, and then I get to high school and make more friends, and this is me now partying with another generation. Here we have one of my close friends who you may know as S.H.E, and I think it's a little bit blurry, so can we zoom out a little bit? And we've been talking about style writing, so this is just some styles that he had put together. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about us being kids in high school, and the breakdancing competitions, or the breakdancing club that was started in there, and the performances that we were able to have, the conversations, and just the children, just kids being kids. He was a big hip-hop boy, big hip-hop head. And I just want to share this letter, so, this thought, actually, I should say. So you see these movements, these streets. Hello? Sorry, I'm trying to get thank you. So you see these graffiti writings out in the streets, and sometimes you're just looking at it, and you may judge it however you may judge it, but you don't really know the mind that is behind these people that are risking their lives to be up there. And what I found just growing up with street just friends, period, is that everybody's always thinking. Everybody has all of these really deep thoughts, and this is why they're creatives, right? Like very unique artists in all elements, in all realms. And so when Four and I were in high school, we used to, and many of us, write each other letters, and I think that's just something that you did back in the day before text messages and phones and all of that, when you were just paging, and we used to write each other letters back and forth. It was just like a thing that was done, right? So what I really liked about sharing these conversations with my hip hop friends, or people that were into the culture, were that we really analyzed music. Music seemed to be at forefront, lyrics, really listening to the lyrics of hip-hop and really breaking them down and really wanting to better ourselves because of these influences. So I wanted to share this thought because it was so influential when I revisit it for now. I think that when we are kids, we are fearless, and we want to take all the chances, and we think that we're going to do it. We're going to be the ones that are going to do this because we don't know why the previous generation didn't do it, but we're going to do it. And we're risk takers. And we're going to go back to Cap Crew in just a second to talk about some of these things that we become so fearlessly about. Right now we're working with first generation graffiti writers who are much older, and maybe they don't want to take the same chances that somebody that's in their maybe 20s will. But when you're in your 20s, you think you have the whole world in your hand and you want to do it all. So imagine when you're even younger than that, and that's the power of the youth. Because when the youth really wants to move something, the youth really does. And that's why this movement has been moved as far as it has, because the youth continues to push it. So I just want to share this really inspiring thought that was shared by Four that he probably doesn't even remember. I haven't talked to Four in a million years, but I really wanted to share it because I think that it's a beautiful thought, and I really want you to take this with. It says, "Yo, Dulce, check this. Drop in science. What if common sense," the rapper from Chicago, had used the hook, "Sometimes I sit and think what a drink about how I'm gonna lose," end quote. I know if it was a fifth, we would be out. We would. This is his thoughts on this lyric. I know if it was a fifth, then we would all be drunk. But let's assume that we are not all alcoholics. Life gets all up in your sometimes, and it's up to you to decide what happens next. Because I've learned that every great accomplishment was once considered impossible. Yet someone had to believe. And once that individual had set their mind to believe that this incredible feat was impossible, it was indeed possible. The mind is an amazing tool, but it's like a parachute. It only functions when it is open. The philosopher Cicero once stated that there are no such things as miracles. He based this on the theory that whatever was physically capable of happening has happened or will happen. Anything not capable of happening won't. It's self-explanatory and it's true. But who is to say what the mind is capable of? Who has gained this wisdom through the experience of using all of his or her mental power? Negativity has society trapped in a sleeper hold. Instead of reaching for our dreams, we suffer in self-pity. I've learned that most of the things I worry about never happen. Therefore, instead of wasting my precious time on this globe, battling fears and past failures, I continue to set my goals high. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. He had teams of scientists trying to come up with this invention. Each week they would come back to report to him. They had tried a number of ideas and nothing worked. And each time he would say things along the lines of, "That's great," and "Good work." After this routine procedure kept happening, some of Edison's workers began to whisper that he was insane. Maybe he was. But he never gave up. And one day the experiments worked and the light bulb was invented. Thomas Edison could have given up. After all, it took more than 1,000 attempts before the work paid off. But he had a goal to reach. He used encouraging words with his coworkers because he knew each failed attempt was just one step closer to success, and he was right. 4 ends his message. Therefore, aim your goals high and shoot for them until they are accomplished. Sit with a drink and think about how you're going to win. And when you figure it out, the world is yours. This is us in high school. He probably doesn't even remember. This was like in 1999. And I think that when you are in high school and in that state of mind, you're just so positive, or even younger. So I just want to remind everyone of the child that they were when they were younger, and they were filled and full of hope and dreams and inspirations, and truly get to know that child and bring that child back out. So moving on from high school, during that time, Kanye West came to Chicago, and that was extremely inspiring. He's not the same anymore, and that's okay. We still bring this inspiration of what could be brought here to Chicago, what we could do, and how the people can empower themselves just by bringing themselves up, lifting each other up. Chicago, the movement continues. So going back to my childhood, in 1997, by that time, I had a journal here. I used to write to Kurt Cobain. My sister used to make fun of me. I used to keep a journal. And then the journal was basically letters to him. This is in 1997. And I write, "Dear Kurt, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I just came back from a party, and it's a whole new crowd, and it's just weird. It's just not the same. So there's still some people left from the old school. People like before, it was just Melly. She will always be at a party. Melly was girly girl. Love you, Melly. Virginia, Severo, Willie, Leslie, Adriana, and that's all the people that I could think of right now. It was fun, but it was not as good. Boy Girl production was there, except they are no longer a production. They're not Boy Girl anymore. They've gone all their separate ways and nothing is the same anymore. I miss it a lot. I don't know how it happened, but the party started dying out years ago. And I go on, but this is in 1997, just to give you an idea of how far these parties have gone. So we're celebrating the evolution of Chicago-style graffiti here with the Epiphany Center for the Arts, and that's just one of the elements of hip-hop. And now we are also bringing you the hip-hop Grassroots Jam, where we have MC competitions, we have MC Ange 13, we have Brickheads crews competing, a dance performance, and then we also have Renegades of Funk DJs, DJ Illinois, Moise Dev, and we're just so excited to also have headlining DJs, Jesse De La Peña, DJ Kane. These are graffiti root DJs, so they all used to do graffiti before. Ange 13, who was supposed to be with us on Monday, hopefully will be with us again on that following Monday. Many people don't know that she used to do graffiti as well, and she used to break dance, so she's very involved with all of the hip-hop elements, and she's going to be with us. So we get a chance to really go and celebrate all of this history. You know, I've brought the pioneers, and everybody got to celebrate on March 4th with the Epiphany Center for the Arts, and it was really beautiful seeing everybody come together and like have this reunion. Over 180 people went to this exhibit, which is just incredible. That's so much love. That's love. That's nothing but love, and that's nothing but street love. And so this is why we're celebrating it, and this is exactly why I find it so very important. We celebrate the streets, we celebrate the people that have passed on, and the way that is done is through these same movements. When somebody passes away, there's fundraisers that are had, there's murals that are had, and that's really honorable, and it's nothing but respect. So we were talking about Chicago hip-hop and some of the people that are going to be with us during this hip-hop jam that we're very excited about. Now, there's other people that I remember growing up with that are not still jamming out, but that I wish they had. And that includes Noble, who we had the pleasure of having with us for Paveway, which was our first graffiti show, the first show that we had, period. She Gallery. This is why She Gallery was started in the first place. So many of our friends went towards gangs. I brought this yearbook here, and we don't have to go through the whole Zoom, but it was basically, I was very involved with I was very much there at Gage Park. They thought that I was a student, and I wasn't. They thought that I was a student, that I even had my own yearbook, and my friends assigned it. I never went to Gage Park. But this I'm showing you because there's gang signs here. So this is showing you there's two gangs, and you can't see the back and the back front of it because it's in pen, but it's one gang, and then in front of it is an opposing gang. So my friends were both, because our friends were just our friends, and then they became gangbangers, and then they became graffiti writers, because that's just what happened in the streets. So we talked about some of the people that have passed away. And this is exactly why we're celebrating this, because we want to honor those that have left, and we want to pay tribute to what this movement has been able to do, to unify, and it's just been a beautiful thing. So somebody else that I want to talk about is CO Fresh. CO Fresh, we earlier talked about Cab Crew, and I'm going to show you guys here how I supported CO Fresh when he was doing music here in Chicago. We were talking about partying.
Can't tell me nothing about that.
I'm just going to show you here very quickly. We were all part of this video. He really did some really good stuff here in Chicago, and I encourage him to come back. So let's see, 150... 152. So he called me up and he was like, hey, you want to be part of this video? I was like, yeah, I used to go support him at his jams all the time. So I just want to show you a little bit of that.
Sipping martinis until I start nodding.
With the Sox hat. So that was just a little clip that I wanted to show you, but something else that CO did, and this is what the tribute that I really want to share with you. King Kaiser is what they called him. Rest in peace, Kaiser. Kaiser passed away many years ago also. And he was Cab Crew. He also became X-Man. tribute to King Kaiser. And I wanted to share this video with you because many of you may not be familiar with it. And it really speaks on Chicago graffiti, especially in the South Side where we're from. So here we go.
Remember back in the day, around 9'5" or 9'6", a new kid from E-Town stepped up in the mix with an aura full of passion, a heart full of gold. Rocking up north, repping too much soul. Before he came up, he was kinda skinny and crusty, but then he got his weight up. Style dope, frame husky. Enter the later 90s, King Kaiser be receiving props from insides, outsides, stations, roofs, and leader spots. Click with 312 to keep it all city. Hit pimp spots and made brown walls look less shitty. Always down for painting, scribing and staining. Showed you new writers how to truly get famous. In my reflection, he gave the shorties direction. Had the north side crushed.
Oops, sorry. Actually, I want to mute this one. I just want to show you the images from this one, and then we'll let this one play, because the other one was from Worm 312. Oh, I don't know if I messed it up. I'm sorry. We'll just go back to Seal's original. Listen to the lyrics. Really listen to the lyrics. Thank you. How do I unmute?
Stepped up in the mix.
Sorry.
Remember back in the day, around 9'5" or 9'6", a new kid from E-Town stepped up in the mix with an aura full of passion, a heart full of gold. Rocking up north, repping too much soul. Before he came up, he was kinda skinny and crusty, but then he got his weight up. Style dope, frame husky. Enter the later 90s, King Kaiser be receiving props from insides, outsides, stations, roofs, and leader spots. Click with 312 to keep it all city. Hit pimp spots and made brown walls look less shitty. Always down for painting, scribing and staining. Showed you new writers how to truly get famous. In my reflection, he gave the shorties direction. Had the north side crushed. Only right to turn X-Men, a Chi-Town legend. But that's a given if you knew Pete. One of the only real writers still rocking past the two. We're not mourning the death, we're celebrating the life. So if you with me, take a breath, then put up your light. Cause tonight and forever, we honor King Kaiser. The drill is true as homie, definition of a rider. We're not mourning the death, we're celebrating the life. So if you with me, take a breath, then put up your light. Cause tonight and forever, we honor King Kaiser. The drill is true as homie, definition of a rider. I was riding on Pulaski when I got that call. The tone I heard in Shane's voice made my stomach fall. I had to pull over to receive the news. He said, Kaiser's fucking dead. He seen it on the news. I couldn't believe it. Man, I just seen him. He knows them tracks too well. Nah, I couldn't be him. Realizing that it was, my head buzzed in disbelief. Seems like we was just in the back of Vertigo, getting cheap. Now I ain't gonna front like we kicked it every day. But when we chill, man, it felt like we kicked it every day. A stand-up dude, never ran, not a coward. That's why you got the crown, plus the platinum plaque at Howard. But that's all just props. Graffiti ain't the only issue. Cause I could name mad people right now that miss you. But we know you got a halo on, up in heaven rocking. Even though you're gone, you won't never be forgotten. We're not mourning the death, we're celebrating the life. So if you with me, take a breath, then put up your light. Cause tonight and forever, we honor King Kaiser. The drill is true as homie, definition of a rider. We're not mourning the death, we're celebrating the life. So if you with me, take a breath, then put up your light. Cause tonight and forever, we honor King Kaiser. The drill is true as homie, definition of a rider.
again for being with us. CO Fresh is no longer performing, so you cannot find him at that station. But please visit our website at sharinghisenergygallery.net, and we encourage you to jam out with us on 416. Thank you. We'll see you again next week. Bye.